The wait for the Masters is over. Coming up, we've got a report from Brendan Robertson at day one from Augusta National.
Swing and a drive. Broke to deep right. Nick Markakis walks us off.
What a start for the Braves. The last call starts right now. You know what? I don't feel like doing this. Nah, I'm just kidding. April Fools. Welcome back and happy Easter. I'm your host, Justin Holbrook. Put the eggs away and break out your lucky clubs. The Masters are back. We'll be in Augusta throughout the week, bringing you full coverage starting today. On Monday, the best golfers in the world will arrive at Augusta National to begin preparing for the 2018 Masters. But the Sunday before is all about the kids, as Brendan Robertson reports from Augusta.
On Monday, the best golfers in the world will be here at Augusta National Golf Club preparing for the 2018 Masters Tournament. But the Sunday before is all about the kids. Making a putt on the 18th hole at Augusta National on a Sunday for the win. A memory that will last a lifetime for Tygon Chia from Bothell, Washington. The boy's 7- to 9-year-old overall champion at the Drive, Chip and Putt National Finals.
I was like, we did it. It felt like it was like to win, and I had to make it.
And nothing like having a two-time Masters champion stop by during your big post-round interview.
It's unbelievable when you think about it. You know, to have this event, to have this, I mean, this is, for professional golfers, this is the greatest event ever produced. And so for the kids, it's got to be the greatest event ever produced, you know? So, you know, like I was watching the kids and made the putt to win on the last putt. How special is that? 20 years, 30 years from now, the rest of his life, he's going to be able to tell everybody, you made the putt, no matter if he plays professional golf or becomes president of the United States. So it's pretty exciting to see.
The Drive, Chip and Putt competition began 5 years ago as an initiative to grow the game. After going through local and regional qualifiers, the 80 finalists are invited to Augusta National for the finals, and their performances under pressure inspire even the biggest names in golf.
It's an amazing initiative, and to come here to be part of it, it's amazing how it's growing every year, how the talent is getting better and deeper, and it's inspirational for anybody to be here.
The state of Georgia well represented with 5 junior golfers in the finals, including Duluth's Sarah M., who overcame some nerves to win the girls' 12 to 13-year-old division.
It was really exciting because this whole time I was really nervous of messing up and getting last place, but I ended up winning, so.
While it's nice to win, the players make sure to get the most out of the experience of playing at Augusta National.
It's really fun because yesterday they gave us a dinner. There's also a game room, and I heard there's a lot of candy in it, so. Yeah.
Are you going to go check out the game room?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And maybe one day, one of these junior golfers will host the annual Masters Champions Dinner, where they can serve all the candy they could want.
You know, this is where dreams start, and this is where dreams kind of continue to grow.
Reporting from Augusta National Golf Club, Brendan Robertson, WRBL News 3 Sports.
All right, thank you, Brendan. Can't wait to be there tomorrow. This week was the start of a new season for Major League Baseball. If you follow projections, you know the Braves aren't the favorites to win it all, or even make the playoffs for that matter. But it was a good start to begin the year. They won 2 out of 3, including this walk-off from Nick Markakis to start the season. It was his first walk-off home run of his career, and it capped off a game that the Braves trailed 5-0 and came back to win 8-5. But let's slow down. It's still early. Baseball has a ton of games, and the Braves played the Phillies, another team with exceedingly low expectations. But it's a positive sign nonetheless, with Atlanta scoring 27 runs in just 3 games.
It's the same thing like last year. We were never out of a game. We fought until the end, and you know we did that tonight. Complete team effort, and everybody did something tonight to help us win the game.
It's big. It says a lot about our team. We grinded out at bats. You know, that's what we're going to have to do, and you know, it was a great win overall.
Braves have a 3-game series at home against the Washington Nationals starting tomorrow. First pitch is at 7:35. No, it's not football season, but let's be honest, it's like that second piece of cake you can't stop thinking about. Well, we're going to get our fix later this month at the NFL Draft in Dallas. And to get prepared, we spoke with D. Orlando Ledbetter, who's the Falcons beat writer with the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. Biggest name we've had so far. Here he is.
And welcome back to The Last Call. We are joined now by D. Orlando Ledbetter, the Atlanta Falcons beat writer for the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. We're going to talk a little Falcons football. Thanks for joining us, Mr. Ledbetter. And we're going to start with the big guy, QB1, Matt Ryan, and this contract extension that we've been hearing about, maybe in the neighborhood of $30 million, and maybe has limited the Falcons in being a real player in free agency. What can you tell us about where that contract extension might be and how it is or is not affecting the Falcons in free agency?
Well, you know, they had to get it done. It affected them in a way that 5 players from last year have left already. You know, they weren't great starters, but they were key cogs in the operation. So not getting Matt Ryan's deal done has, created a bump against the salary cap. Once they get the deal done, it'll open up room that they could have used signing other players or keeping their own players. They've been able to keep some, but not a lot. But the facts are they're losing players, and they haven't been able to go after some of the big names in free agency, Brendan.
One of the big ways they could fill some of those gaps that you mentioned in guys they've lost is obviously the NFL draft coming up in April, and the Falcons have had pretty good success recently in the draft. What are some spots specifically that the Falcons would look to fill, maybe some guys they really like, and could they possibly move up in the draft in their order?
Well, they certainly have to address the defensive tackle position with Don Terry Poe, going on to sign his contract with the Carolina Panthers. They don't have a viable defensive tackle there. They did sign Brandon Fusco in free agency, so they could, like Isaiah Wynn, as a right guard for maybe not right away, but for the future. Andy Levitre is not getting any younger. They can add a receiver returner pretty high in the draft, third round. And they also like the Georgia running backs. They did cut their third down back. They're not going to be able to keep Coleman and Freeman together forever. So Sony Michel's a guy that, they certainly don't want to see landing in Carolina or in Tampa and hurt him. So, those are some of the key positions that they'll have to address here in the upcoming draft.
We'll have more with Mr. Ledbetter later on. It doesn't matter what the sport is. When Alabama and Auburn get together, it's always a little more on the line. On Tuesday, the sold-out Capital City Classic in Montgomery between number 9 Auburn and Alabama. Tigers head coach Butch Thompson taking on his former assistant coach Brad Bohannon. Auburn AD Allen Green throws out the first pitch. Can't see it, but it was a strike. Good sign of things to come. Chandler Taylor gets a hold of this one. Could be trouble, but Jay Estes crashes into the wall. Makes a SportsCenter worthy catch, and wow, what a snag right there from Jay. Helps out his man Jack Owen, who's on the mound going for his first win of the season. We go to the bottom of the second now, scoreless until now. Freshman Eduardo Julian smacks this one for a 3-run home run, his 4th of the season, and the Tigers jump right on top of the Tide. 2 batters later, Will Holland is at the plate, and he's going to get his chance to hit another one out. It's a solo shot to almost the exact same spot. Mason Duke couldn't make it out of the second inning. Before this game, he had more than 15 innings without giving up an earned run. As if it wasn't enough, Jay Estes is there to do it again. Check out him flying in from center field to make a diving catch. That's 2 if you're counting. Auburn wins 5-2, and they've now won 9 out of the last 10 Capital City Classic games against the Tide. We're getting closer and closer to high school playoffs in baseball. Last week we featured number 1 ranked Russell County in 6A, and this week we take a look at Harris County, the number 10 team in Class 5A, which split their games against number 5 Veterans on Friday. Here's the coach.
I'm not sure the story on this team's been written yet. I think there's still a long way for us to go, and I'm not sure we found our identity yet. It's taken us a little bit longer than normal. It's kind of atypical of us. Usually by now we kind of know who we are. We're still trying to figure it out, and it's a great group of kids that if they will compete every day, we'll be okay.
Harris County has senior night against Smith Station on Tuesday and on the road with Troup County the next day. Some of our local teams at the top of the latest Alabama high school baseball rankings. Auburn up to number 1 in Class 7A. Smith Station and Central also in the top 10. Russell County, mostly sophomore starters, are still in first place in 6A. And then Glenwood and Lee Scott are both top 10 in the independent rankings. Over on the Georgia side, several of our teams are ranked in the top 10 as well. Harris County 8th in 5A, Troup and Columbus in 4A, and then Callaway number 4 in 2A, and the defending state champions from Sly County moving up to number 4 in 1A. Still to come in the last call, CSU baseball is just outside the top 10, but 5 home games this week. We'll recap that, and CSU softball was going for 8 straight wins this weekend. That's on the way. Plus, the Cougars men's and women's teams in tennis are making a name for themselves too. Both are ranked number 3 in the country, and they are focused to win their first ever national championship in this week's Sports Spotlight. Coming up in 90 seconds. We don't get a chance to cover tennis much during the week, and that's why we have Sports Spotlight. The CSU men's and women's tennis teams are both ranked 3rd in the entire country, and the Cougars are on the hunt for their first ever national championship. The wins keep piling up, and winning that first title seems more than possible for the men and women's tennis teams.
We're really putting these guys through the test, and they're performing well. They're having a good time.
We are a family, and that was the most important thing. It doesn't really matter about tennis, but when you are a family and we are close together, that's when we actually have the results.
And the results are definitely there. After this weekend, the women's team is 15-1 with a perfect 7-0 conference record. The men are also 7-0 in the Peach Belt with a 14-3 record.
We get along really well, especially off the court, which is something that I think helps us because, you know, on the court we support each other a lot because we have that kind of trust and confidence in each other.
But the Cougars aren't just beating easy teams. They rank in the top 5 for hardest schedules in the country. Speaking of the U.S., only 2 players are from this country. The rest come from all across the world.
You know, given the fact that pretty much everybody is not from the U.S., so we have to be close to each other. We're like our own little family, so it's very special.
Let's go! I usually call it a model United Nations. I mean, we try not to have more than 2 people from the same country. We want everybody to enjoy the Columbus experience, but also learn from the other cultures from everybody else on the team.
We want to win the national championship, and that's my goal. That's the team goal, and yeah, we will make history. Yeah.
Gotta love the confidence. After starting the season unranked, the Columbus State Cougars baseball team are number 9 in the country in Division II. They had 5 home games this week. We'll show you Tuesday's game against Albany State. Tyler Chanahead was on the mound for CSU, and he was getting the Rams swinging early, and he had himself quite the day. Gets a strikeout here in the first inning, and he's going to back it up with yet another strikeout. The Cougars are going to work right off bat, and then they go to work at the dish. Runner on third with 1 out, and it is the All-American big guy. Mason McClellan chops one to the right side. The Rams can't handle it. That allows Justin Evans to score the first run of the game. And CSU was just getting started. We have bases loaded. Drew Webb, the sophomore from Brookstone School, drills this one down to left field, and that is a bases clearing double. CSU scores 6 runs on 1 hit in the first inning, and they win in a shootout 14-10. Meanwhile, the Columbus State softball team is getting hot at the right time, hosting Middle Georgia on Wednesday. In the 3rd inning, after Kia Smith stole second base, Mackenzie Fagoli singles up the middle, and Smith comes in to score as the throw gets away from the catcher. That seemed to be a theme on the day. It would happen again later on. Ball gets away, and CSU is going to score another run, and Fagoli is there to take advantage. CSU wins easily, 11-4. They've won 8 straight. Still to come, we've got a roundup from this weekend's SEC games for both baseball and softball. Which teams help their chances of moving up in the national rankings? Still ahead. Plenty of action in the SEC in both baseball and softball. Here's a quick roundup from this weekend. In baseball, number 9 Auburn lost 2 games to Missouri. The Crimson Tide beat number 10 Kentucky twice. They snapped their 7-game losing streak, and the Georgia Bulldogs won 3 out of 4 this week, including 2 against number 16 Texas A&M. In softball, number 16 Alabama won their series over number 19 Kentucky. Auburn beat Ole Miss in their road series, and the Lady Bulldogs lost to Tennessee on Saturday, but then won big 9-1 today. Now back to Brendan for more from the Orlando Ledbetter.
D. Orlando Ledbetter, we appreciate your time. Anything we missed, anything we're overlooking that Falcons fans need to know as we move towards the draft and towards the preseason?
No, we think we hit it all pretty big. The draft's upcoming. We kind of start getting ready for that. You know, the big thing will be defensive tackle, left guard, running back, fullback, and wide receiver. It's the Falcons were the only team to make it back to the playoffs in the NFC, so they're trying to build upon that. Got to catch up and stay up front of teams like the Rams, who rebuilt. The Vikings, who's got a quarterback now, and the Saints, who had a really good draft last year. So it's going to be a exciting rest of the offseason here in Atlanta for the Falcons.
Can't believe you didn't mention my Carolina Panthers, but I'll get in a lot of trouble if I mention that team name around these parts. D. Orlando Ledbetter with the AJC. We appreciate the time. You can find him on Twitter at DOrlandoAJC. Thanks for talking a little Falcons football, and maybe we'll catch up again right before the season starts.
Great. Thanks for having me.
All right. Thank you to both of you guys. Coming up, scrimmages and practices for spring football are in full swing. We're going to have a look at what the coaches in the SEC have to say about the progress from their team so far. Welcome back to Picks of the Week. I'm joined once again by Sports Director Brendan Robertson and our producer Connor Hackling. So guys, the Masters is what we're all talking about this week. We're going to pick 4 players with 1 dark horse. Brendan, you start.
All right, I'm going with the chalk, top heavy here. Dustin Johnson, Justin Thomas, Rory McIlroy, my sleeper, the local guy, my boy Kevin Kisner.
All right, Connor?
I'm going Justin Thomas, Tiger, Dustin, and my sleeper, and you guys might not think this is a sleeper, Ricky Fowler.
Okay.
Hasn't played well at Augusta.
We'll see.
That's why he's the
We'll see.
That's why he's the sleeper.
We'll have to see if he wins. Yeah, so I'm going to go Justin Thomas. We'll make that all 3 of us. Then I'm going to take Rory, Jordan Spieth, and for my dark horse, I'm going with a guy named Tommy Fleetwood.
Englishman.
That's right. So if we're doing one NHL game this week, Connor, you go ahead.
I am going to go with Boston over Tampa Bay. Know nothing about hockey, but I looked it up. Bruins have 6 Canadians. Tampa has 8.
Okay.
Tampa wins. More Canadians.
Makes sense.
Bruins just overtook Tampa for first place, but you wouldn't know that. I'm going Caps. It's a Caps year. Not really. Over the Blues. Monday night, the Blues fighting for the Wildcat. Caps already locked in to that top spot.
The Blue Jackets helped me last week. Again, even though they've lost the Penguins in 3 straight games, I'm going to take them into Pittsburgh for the
as
first
opposed
time
to the
this
others
year.
that have gone
And then
posted
we have
out,
a
and it's
personal
1-0
pick, so
Blue
Brendan, who you got?
I'm going We the North, my Toronto Blue Jays, over the Chicago White Sox. Former Brave Jaime Garcia on the mound for Toronto Monday.
Yeah, it was a pretty big basketball game Monday night.
Maybe.
College basketball.
Maybe, yeah.
I'm going to go Michigan.
Okay.
It's going to win the national championship.
Yeah. All right, for me, I'm going to soccer. I'm taking Man City over Liverpool in the first game of the quarterfinal. All right, let's go to Jack, who is somehow still in last place.
We'll start this week with the tradition, unlike any other, the Masters in Augusta. Give me Tiger Woods, Jordan Spieth, Bubba Watson, 3 former Masters champions, and my sleeper will be Jon Rahm, who's currently top 10 in FedEx Cup points. For the hockey pick, of course, I'm taking my Nashville Predators, and they will beat Justice Columbus Blue Jackets in the final game of the regular season to clinch the President's Trophy if they hadn't already done so. And for my personal pick, the Atlanta Braves look really impressive and sharp in their opening series against the Phillies, but 2 tough tests come this week, a 3-game set with the Nationals at home, a 3-game set on the road in Denver against the Colorado Rockies. They'll win one of those series. Those 3 picks, plus my WrestleMania pick from last week that I kind of made early, my bad, I'm excited. Hopefully that will get me to 99 and 500 overall in our pick segment. Back to you, Justin.
All right, man, have fun in New Orleans. Spring practices are in full swing for Alabama, Auburn, and Georgia. The Tigers are 1 week away from their A-Day scrimmage, while the Dogs and Tide still have 3 weeks left. Here's what the coaches are saying with a month left in their practice.
You know, Tua has made a very nice recovery from his hand. You know, he did have a break. Dr. Kane and our medical staff do a fantastic job here. I tell you what, I mean, Tua was actually able to do stuff in practice today, actually able to hand the ball off, could grip the ball, could throw the ball a little bit.
Nobody in this program plays or practices with an entitlement. That's my ultimate goal. So I'm looking for the entitlement guys every day at practice to see if they feel that way. Challenge them to compete. We got a long way to go.
Once we got to the scrimmage part, it was focused on our 2s and our 3s, and a lot of the young guys, just trying to give them opportunities to develop.
Getting upcoming season for sure. Still to come on The Last Call, you have to see this. A third-string goalie gets his number called on the same day he works his job as an accountant. More on that after this.
Ogunbowale for the win. Good! Arike Ogunbowale wins the national championship for Notre Dame.
What a way to win the title for Notre Dame. Moving on, game of the week, it's a 7A showdown between number 1 Auburn and number 2 Central. They've got a doubleheader on Thursday, so we're going to be there. In the video you have to see this week, it's the third-string goalie getting his number called on the same day that he was working his job as an accountant. Well, he made 7 saves and didn't allow a single goal. Just an amazing night for Scott Foster of the Chicago Blackhawks. That's it for The Last Call. Be sure to join us next week, and we'll have full coverage from Augusta National during this week for myself and Brendan Robertson. Have a great night.